Hi everybody, I am Barb Steinberg, teen life coach for girls, parent coach, and speaker on teen girl issues. Today I wanted to talk to you about self-care. As a parent of tweens and teens, that is probably the most demanding job there is. And I recently had a parent coaching session with this awesome mom, and we were talking about how she was feeling in her job as a parent. And she was describing, being in a bad mood a lot, or reacting by yelling more often than she would like, or losing her temper. And she felt like there was being a lot asked of her, more than she wanted to do. And it was a little too much for her, with all the cooking and the making of meals and lunches and the driving and the helping with homework. And she was the mom who was like, could rival, what's her name? Mrs. Brady without Alice. She was the mom that is, hosting all the sleepovers and hosting parties and having all the girls to her house. And she was super mom. And it was awesome for her girls. And I know part of it made her feel really good as a mom, that she was being so engaged and, doing all these great things for her family and for her girls, but it also was depleting her. And it was a little bit out of balance. So she was noticing that parenting was not as pleasant as she would like it to be. And she was reacting in a way that she was not happy with, because she was just, her energy was depleted and she was tired and she was feeling stretched thin, and that was showing in her reactions. So we talked about what can she do to help with this and to help give herself some self-care. Now, self-care is a really big topic, so I'm only going to touch on two little pieces of it today. And one is saying no. So with this mom, we were talking about, and saying no sounds like it would be easy to say no. For some of you it is, and you are my heroes. And I watch you when you say no and learn from you. It's an area that I've had to learn to become better at. And luckily I have become better at it. But there are times that it is harder to say no. So let's talk about how to do that. So it might be, one of the things that she talked about was making meals. So we talked about, could you scale back? For dinner, could it just be sandwiches or oatmeal or cereal or, cheese and crackers and fruit? Something super easy that reserves some of her energy. We talked about offering the girls, she had two daughters, windows that she's available to help with homework when she has energy, when her brain is still functioning. So, maybe it's between after dinner and 8 o'clock, let's say. So that was an idea that she liked, that, would give her daughter some parameters. And then the idea of, instead of being the parent that brings the cookies to every event that is happening at school, she buys them instead of bakes them. Now, some of you might be laughing like, does anyone bake cookies anymore, homemade? Maybe not, I don't know. So we talked about that, or being the person that doesn't offer to bring the cookies and you let another parent do that. We also talked about the idea of her scaling back and not having so many sleepovers at her house, or not having 3 girls, only have 1 girl, or not being the person that hosts every party, and allowing other parents to step up and take over some of those activities for the girls. This was hard, right? Because one of the reasons why we are the person that hosts the parties and has the sleepovers, number one, it might make us feel good as a mom or a dad that we're providing that really fun, opportunity and event for our daughters. And it also, makes us feel like, oh, well, I'm helping my daughter have a rich, fulfilling, active social life. So we have to take a look at those desires and balance them out with our need to preserve our energy, so that we can, be able to regulate our emotions a little bit better in our reaction to our girls. So that's one, saying no. The other is self-care during pickup. So this particular mom, picking up her daughters from school, it had become kind of an unpleasant event on a daily basis. So we talked about how can we make that a little bit better for you and for the girls. So we talked about the idea of, before you go pick up the girls, do something that I do with girls that I coach, called rate your state. And that's on a scale of 1 to 10, you're rating your energy level, your mood, and your stress. So if my mood is a 2, my stress is an 8, that tells me, wow, I've got some work to do on myself before my girls get in the car with me. So that we can have hopefully a little bit more of a pleasant ride, and my mood and stress and energy is not bleeding out on them and then creating kind of a situation that we don't want. So what does that mean? How can we help ourselves in that case? If we're rating our state and we realize like, okay, I've got some work to do to help myself, what can we do? One is rest before you go pick up the girls. So rest is a broad term. It can look very different for different people. Some of you are sitting in an office all day and it's a little bit more challenging. Some of you work from home. If you happen to have a door in your office, maybe that could help. So we talked about the idea, this mom happened to work from home. So we talked about the idea of having a little bit of downtime in her afternoon before she picked up the girls to take a cat nap, maybe a 10-minute nap, to read something for pleasure for 15 minutes. To do some visualization, whether she's visualizing, you know, her laying on the beach, getting some sun, having a margarita, or something fun that she's going to do this weekend, or visualizing what she would like this car ride to feel like. That leads me into the next point about self-care with regard to pickup, and that is being intentional about how you want this pickup to feel. Do you want you and your girls to Do you want it to be peaceful? Do you want it to be calm? Do you want it to be lighthearted and you're laughing and giggling and sharing about your days? What do you want it to feel like? If you can close your eyes when you're sitting in that pickup line waiting for your daughter to get in the car and visualize that, it is incredibly powerful. I promise you. You will be shocked and surprised at how often your visualization becomes your reality. I guarantee it. Listening to calming music before you go pick her up, that can help. Or maybe listening to a podcast, something that makes you feel happy or light or good or fulfilling. Calling your BFF on the way there. So maybe you have a best girlfriend or guy friend that you love to talk to that always makes you feel good, and you're going to have a 15-minute chat on your way to pick up your daughters. Or silence. So many of us, if you're like me, your days are really packed, really filled, and there's a lot of noise coming at you all the time, no matter where you are. So if you can fit in even just a little bit of silence on the way to pick up the girls, that in and of itself can be incredibly calming. I also talk a lot about having silence in the car after the girls get in and letting it just be rather than peppering them with questions to try to get them to talk. Some girls like that, some girls don't, depending on their mood. And so if we can allow for silence, you would be surprised. I know I always am when I allow for silence during this pickup time, how much my teenager begins to share after he's got some time just to sit and breathe and reflect for a moment. And then he shares when he's ready, which obviously tends to be a better conversation between the two of us. So last two, bringing the family dog or the family pet. I don't know, maybe you have a ferret or I don't even know what, a cat. Can cats go in cars? I don't know. But bringing the family dog, well, we all know that our pets definitely lower our stress level. They make us happier. They make us feel better. That could make your daughter, if she's super close with the family dog, bringing him or her could make her super happy and improve that car ride home. And then listening to her favorite music. In my case, that means I have to listen to rap music almost every day, which I don't find particularly peaceful and calm, but it definitely makes my teenager super happy. And it also lets me into his world a little bit about what he's into, what he likes, why he likes it. And it certainly opens up some interesting conversations about lyrics and rap songs. So yeah, those are just, like I said, this is a big topic, but hopefully this gives you a few ideas of what you may want to try, or maybe you've already tried it and it fell by the wayside and now you're going to try it again. Something to help you to feel less depleted and hopefully create even a little bit more joy or feeling of parenting being pleasant. I want to share with you my very favorite self-care book. Love it. It's called The Art of Extreme Self-Care by Cheryl Richardson. It's super thin. Who doesn't love a thin book? Because not everybody has time to read 400 pages. I love it. She gives great concrete ideas on self-care. Hopefully you'll check it out. So Tell us below in the comments if anything in today resonated with you and you want to give it a try, or it works for you, share with us. If you've got other self-care ideas, please share with us and help us all out. Please share this video with any of your friends who you think this might help. And then I'd love it if you check out my YouTube channel, Barb Steinberg, LMSW. And there's so many free videos on there with lots of free parenting advice about raising tween and teen girls. And then on my website, barbsteinberg.com, I have a newsletter that comes out every month with awesome, if I do say so myself, awesome tools and tips and ideas of raising girls to be exactly who they were meant to be, and to help you create the relationship that you want with your girls as well. So thanks for listening, and I'll see you back again next Wednesday at noon for our little Lunch and Learn Facebook Live. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. Bye.